Hey, girlfriend. What is up? I'm going to wait and see who's going to join us. Ooh, hey, Devin. Hi. Devin says, I'll be listening while I do my hair. Oh, that sounds amazing. What are you doing to your hair? Let us know in the comment section down below. Hi, Doom. What is up? Happy Friday. If your weather is anything like our weather here in Toronto, it is absolutely beautiful outside, and I am so here for it. I mean, for so long, the weather has been so awful, and finally, the weather is amazing. Um, I want to also say thank you so much for your patience in just waiting for today's live stream to air. Unfortunately, I had quite a few of work items happening. I couldn't make it for 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but was able to make it for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and here you are. So, here's a super fast way to grow gorgeous natural hair, and it's as simple as this: learning what type of natural hair you have. So, if you're here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, chances are like you probably have fine natural hair. And that is really important because for so long, I spent so much of my journey dealing with my natural hair as if it was the way other natural hair is, like the quote unquote, like, not stereotypical, but the type of natural hair you see the most, which is like thicker strands and, really, coily and thick. Each individual strand is super thick, right? Here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, though, I really started to learn that there was a difference. Papa Top 912, hello from your MSC friend. Hi, Papa Top. What is up? Oh my gosh, that is so cool. For those of you who don't know, Curlfriend Crew, Papa Top 912 is actually a fellow YouTuber who I met on a recent cruise. If you've been following me on Fine Natural Hair Rocks on Instagram, I've been posting here and there from the trip. If you're interested in seeing more of the trip, I think some of you said you were. I will be posting some video as well. But it's a cruise. If you're interested in cruise life and all that good stuff, then you definitely want to go ahead and check out Papa Top 912. He has amazing imagery and it's just gorgeous. Beautiful stuff. Very accurate telling of exactly what it's like to be on a cruise, a Caribbean cruise with MSC. But I digress. It's very important to know what type of natural hair you have. When I was dealing with my natural hair in a way that was not in alignment with fine natural strands, I was stuck. Girlfriend, like I was super stuck. Like I wasn't able to retain length. I wasn't able to enjoy the styles that work for my fine strands. I wasn't able to do any of that stuff. And it was just really, really difficult to move forward beyond where I was. And I stayed like that for like a good 5, 6 years. Like it took a very long time. It only took, meeting with one of my stylists at the time who said, look, like you've got a lot of hair, it's thick, but each individual strand is fine. And when I learned that and I started to develop my regimen around that, that's when things started to turn around. So if you've got hair that's stagnant, you've been trying everything on the web and nothing seems to be working, I really implore you to try to learn what your strands are. And the way you can learn it is by looking at each individual strand and seeing, is it thicker than a piece of thread? So a strand that's thicker than a piece of thread is considered to be thick strands. A strand that is the same size as a piece of thread is considered to be regular size strands. And anything that's thinner than a piece of thread is considered to be fine strands. So for me, I've got hair that is thinner than a piece of thread. Another way that you can tell if your strands are fine or if they're thick or if they're regular is, basically, what you can see with your naked eye. So if you hold one strand, just one strand up, and you can see that strand, chances are likely, and you can see it really well, chances are likely it's thick in nature. Now, if you can see it, but it's not super visible, but it's there, then it's medium in nature. Now, if you hold one strand up and you could barely see it with the naked eye, you, my friend, probably have fine strands. So, Pop Top, yeah, you're welcome. I don't know if you're still here, but absolutely. I recognize good content when I see it. And, Papa Top's got a good, wonderful community over there. You should absolutely check it out. Hi, Carl. Girlfriend, if you're in the chat, let me know. Jump in, just say hello, what's up, if you're not feeling shy today. Also, if you're enjoying this live stream and you have been enjoying the live streams and you've been enjoying Fine Natural Hair Rocks in general, go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to Fine Natural Hair Rocks if you haven't subscribed already. Why? Because those things really do help Fine Natural Hair Rocks out. There's a very strange light on my camera right now. I'm just going to go ahead and just, there we go. That was strange. It was annoying me. And yeah, we're back. TJ, what's up from Texas? TJ, thank you so much for joining. Papa Top says, need tips for my daughter. That is so amazing. Yes, Find Natural Hair Rocks is here to help anyone really along that natural hair journey. There's been so many misconceptions, so many, stereotypes and just non-truths about natural hair and what it can do. And Find Natural Hair Rocks is here to help you with all of that. So the second tip in terms of a super fast way to grow gorgeous natural hair is to develop a regimen that works with your hair type. So oftentimes here on Find Natural Hair Rocks, I'm always saying, do what works for you, do what works for you. But what does that mean? That means knowing exactly have and knowing what things work for you and what things don't. So if you've got fine strands, you need lightweight products. If you've got thick strands, then you need thicker products. And that's a good place to start. And then from there, you kind of tweak and see what brands, what formulations, what things will work the best for your strands. Now, I learned this hard way in the early stages of my natural hair journey. Everybody was using shea butter, so I thought shea butter was going to work for me. Let me know in the comment section down below if you were one of those people who were on that shea butter train. But I can tell you, it didn't do anything for me other than sit on the strands and weigh them right down. Now, when I was, then there was the coconut oil thing, and that actually kind of worked well. It also did have a tendency to sit on top of the strands and weigh them down. But knowing that I have fine strands made me realize that yes, I might not be able to use these products in the way that we see them being used by other naturals here on YouTube. However, tweaking it to match fine strands would mean using less of it as opposed to more of it. Now, if you've got thick strands, you can use it the way you see everybody else using it, which is to, lather it on as like a sealant. I'm talking about shea butter and coconut oil. Some people have used shea butter to actually stretch their strands and achieve more elongated styles. That's something that you can do as well too. Not saying you can't try that. You can't try using shea butter like that for fine strands. Just saying that if you do that, you might want to use less of it as opposed to more. So yeah, developing your regimen around your hair type is really going to make a difference. Now, when we talk about, the foundations of a natural hair regimen, especially when you're starting out new, really and truly just need your shampoo, your conditioner, a good deep conditioner, and a leave-in. And then a styler if you're going to go ahead and style as well. And all of these things, you really do want them to be in alignment with the type of natural hair that you have. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Mary. What's up? Thank you so much for coming. Full house up in here. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, yeah, the regimen piece is really going to matter. There's this thought process out there that, perhaps hair has like there's a memory to the strands, and I think that the more you use the same regimen, even if you are trying out different products, trying to see what works better than what and what doesn't work as well, so long as you have the same foundation, you should be okay. So long as you're not, switching things up all the time. Like, say for example, today you're detangling at the pre-poo stage, next week you're detangling at the deep conditioning stage, and you're trying to figure out whether or not the pre-poo is better than the deep conditioner. Well, there's no rhyme or reason to any of that. So it's going to be really difficult to determine what exactly is working the best for you. TJ says, that's why I follow you for info about fine strands and others for high porosity and others with high density. I love that. And I'm going to go ahead and pin your comment, TJ, because that is golden. Here on Find Natural Hair Rocks, the information is always going to be tailored toward fine strands. Why? Because I've got fine strands, and that's where my experience lies in learning how to deal and grow and manage and really attain the gorgeous natural hair that I have now. It wasn't always like that. Trust and believe me, girlfriend, it was not always like that. And it took a lot of trial and error to get there. And so I'm not coming at this from the standpoint of somebody who's experienced in hair care or even hairstyling. I always leave my hairstyling to the professionals. And I emphasize the word professionals because there are a ton of people out there who could do hairstyling, who can, put nice, beautiful extensions on your strands. Are you going to have hair when you're done with it? I don't know, right? So you really need to make sure whoever's touching your hair is somebody who knows what they're doing. Hi, Coco B Visuals. What's up, Coco? Thank you for coming. Hi, Muhammad. Muhumuza. I'm going to mispronounce your name, so I'm not even going to do that. But thank you so much for coming. What I will do, and yes, you made it, is I'm going to go ahead and pin your comment because I'm very, very much appreciative for your presence today on Find Natural Hair Rocks. And shout outs to anybody else who is in the Curlfriend crew, is in the Curl chat, but didn't necessarily show up as a comment. I want to say hello to you as well. PSR076 says, yes, like catching you live. I like catching you too. Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. So the first 2 points that we made was number one, you need to know your hair type. And number two, you really want to develop a regimen around it. So, once upon a time, there was a ton of natural hair gurus on YouTube talking about natural hair growth, trying to help each other, achieve lengths and just growth in general and health. And so I think there's been a rhetoric around that, maybe the natural hair community isn't as alive as it used to be. For me personally, I think it's alive. I think it's strong and kicking. But if you can find people who are giving good advice and they have something, a hair type characteristic that matches yours, that information is going to be golden for you. PSR076 says great advice about professional. You need to bet too. Yes, exactly. A professional makes a huge difference. So I just got these installed just before my vacation. I did go on a cruise about a week ago. So I needed something that was going to be just stay in the state that it's in. I didn't want to be spending a ton of time on my hair. And so that's why I decided to just put it away. Now, I really thought long and hard about who I had installing these twists into my hair because I didn't want to leave the style in a, compromised state suffering breakage. And so that's really important. So how do you even do that? Well, you take account and note of what's going on their Instagram and their socials. Do they have people and giving good reviews? When you see the photos that they have on their socials, does it look like people still have edges? Or excuse me, does it look like the stylist is trying to braid, lay, and slay every single strand? If that's what the stylist is doing, my girlfriend, you need to run. Run as fast as you can away from that particular stylist. Even, today, for example, I had just gone out for ice cream with my hubby and someone approached me and said, hey, like, I do natural hair. Like I do crochet braids and I do kinky twists and I do all these things. And, one thing that I looked at when I was talking to this young lady was her hair and how does her hair look? Does it look healthy? Does it look like something that I want to happen with my head of hair? In this particular instance, the answer was no. So would I move forward? Absolutely not. Those are really important things to do and to keep in mind when you're choosing your stylist, to really take a look at how their hair looks. Because if their hair is not looking right or their child's hair is not looking right, chances are likely your hair is not going to be looking right either once you leave that protect style, right? So that really does make a difference. PSR076 says vet, I meant. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I figured so. And hi, Jazzy. What's up, girlfriend? Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. I really do appreciate you. So, yes, it's so important. We can't be looking at people's hair, stylist hairstyles and expecting something different if they've got, a hairline that starts back here, or, they've got breakage, or they've got a relaxer and they're telling you that they're specialists in natural hair care. I mean, maybe here on YouTube, there is an individual, I believe the channel is called Deeper Than Hair TV, and she is amazing with natural hair and relaxed strands. But if that relaxer is not looking too healthy, or if that natural hair is not looking too healthy, don't do it, girlfriend. Like, save yourself the agony, save yourself the aggravation, and just don't even bother. Tip number 3, which has been so good to me, really, really good to me, girlfriend, is documenting what is going on with your hair. So you don't maybe need to be as, thorough as I was with it, in the sense of having like an actual journal. Like my journal is like 2 or 3 years old now, where like after every single wash day, I was really documenting what I was using and how it was applying to my hair. And I was even taking pictures of my breakage. So, or the fallout, right? So there was a point in time when I didn't even know how to detangle my strands properly. And that's very normal. So here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, I might be saying to you, look, for fine strands, the best way to detangle your hair, based on my experience, is to use your fingers and then go in with a wide tooth comb. For me, that works. And for most girlfriends, that seems to work too. But there could be the anomaly or the exception to that, where that doesn't necessarily work very well for that person. Well, how will you know? If you go ahead and you just follow that blindly and every single week you're following that advice, but you don't have anything to compare it to, it's going to be very difficult to make the changes and to see where you need to make those changes. So for me, as soon as I started documenting exactly what I was doing with my strands, that's when I started to see the difference. I was able to go back to, like, say, for example, I haven't really been doing it lately because now I have a really good idea of what works and what doesn't work. But in 2022, for the first part of the year, I was doing it. So I could go back to January 2021 and see, okay, this is what happened in that year. Like, why did the whole year pass by and I'm still at the same length, right? So I was able to go look at that and say, okay, looks like I had a lot of breakage on, let's just throw a date out, January 5th, 2021. And then, the next week I switched it up and I had less breakage. Okay, let's try that detangling method instead. So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like when you start taking documenting exactly what you're doing, and you only change maybe one thing at a time, then you're really able to see what works, what doesn't work, and you can slowly tweak things so that you get to the stage where you know exactly what's working for your fine strands. This, or your natural strands, whatever it is that you might have. This is very important. Is it time consuming? Yes. But in terms of a super fast way to grow your gorgeous natural hair, you can absolutely get to beautiful natural hair a lot faster if you know what's happening and you're able to kind of, switch and pivot from bad hair practices really quickly, as opposed to sitting in those bad hair practices for years on end, which is something that happened to me. And I don't want that to happen to you as well, if you're trying to, navigate your own hair journey this way. The other thing that I would say that's helped very, very quickly to have beautiful natural hair that you can enjoy without any, extensions, weaves, wigs, anything, is to just get a trim. So we really have to remove ourselves from being so attached to length, right? And I'm 100% victim to that. Like, I love me some, like, curlfriend. I absolutely love length. But part of this is like trying to decondition the mind to realize that your beauty lies in your gorgeous face. It lies in your beautiful personality, your spirit, who you are, and it has nothing to do with any of this. So whether you have this on your head, whether you have a short do, whether you have a medium do, whatever it is, at the end of the day, who's really going to shine is the person who's underneath all of that. And so the beauty of that is that, whatever stage your hair is in, so long, I believe, as, your hair is in a, styled, maintained, healthy looking state, because healthy hair is beautiful hair, then you will be able to achieve certain looks. I see Love Yourself, Coco B said, Visual says true. Love Yourself says that's so true. I'm really glad this is resonating. Coco B Visual says good point. Love number 3, it also keeps you accountable with your hair journey. Absolutely. It 100% keeps you accountable. It's something that, whenever I'm starting to feel like I don't know what the issue is, 10 times and I can look back into my documents and be like, oh, I see what the issue is. It's right there. I'm maybe this particular product as a deep conditioner doesn't work that well. And it also helps you, the more details, the better. So when you are documenting things, if you know that, say, deep conditioner X feels a little bit more slippery than deep conditioner Y, then you know that, okay, let me get away from deep conditioner Y, and lean into deep conditioner X. So that's really helpful as well too. The other piece, if you are struggling, you've gotten your trim, you've tried all these things, and you still don't know what's going on, just ask me. Ask me here on Find Natural Hair Rocks. I am so happy to engage with each and every one of you. One-on-one in the comments, even making a video about it. I'm just here to help. And, if you don't have access to me through Find Natural Hair Rocks, then I think it's also really important to whoever it is that's doing your hair, touching your hair other than you, for them to know about your goals. So for me, my stylist here in Toronto, her name is Zamarla of Cloud9 Curls. Zamarla is actually also a natural hair influencer, and she's got socials on Instagram where she talks about hair health, she talks about hair education, and she really does approach it from the same practical, logical, growth focused, health focused mindset. And it's a beautiful thing, right? So if you can find somebody who has a similar approach, someone who takes your hair goals seriously, it's really going to make the difference between having a ton of setbacks and having an amazing journey full of flourishing, beautiful moments, right? So I think for me, those are the main things that really made a difference. And it's going to be a journey. There's going to be setbacks. There's no real way to avoid that. But I think the biggest thing with a setback is that you're learning, right? Like it's only a purposeless setback if you just keep on having that setback and nothing is coming from it, then yeah, that's unfortunate and it's ineffective. But if you're having setbacks, there are things that are failing. Maybe you've lost your edges, which I lost my edges very publicly right here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. You guys can see it if you want. They left the building, right? If I didn't know what I was doing to my strands, I would still have no edges, right? Today I have edges because I was able to say, look, like the first time I lost my edges, I was using Jamaican black castor oil. The second time I lost my edges, I was using Jamaican black castor oil. Maybe I should stop using Jamaican black castor oil. That's the kind of thing that, your documentation helps you to understand. And as Patricia076 says, it's a journey. It's absolutely a journey and it's not going to be perfect. About it is that as you continue along it, it gets better and better. So the other piece, and I think I don't want it to sound too like woo-ha, but it's true, is to really enjoy that journey, right? Like enjoy all of it. Like I enjoy my wig phase. I am enjoying my locks phase right now. And there's going to be a phase, maybe you're in your wash and go phase, maybe you're in your twist phase. There's so much to love and enjoy about this. Another way that you could even consider, enjoying and just enjoying your gorgeous hair as it is to embrace what you do have. So maybe you do have short natural hair, but that's the perfect opportunity to go in and throw in a color, right? If you're not on a length journey or if your length journey isn't moving as fast as you want. Just doing things that really make you enjoy the versatility and the beauty of your natural strands and really just kind of letting go of some of the rules and the expectations around natural hair. I find, in this space that a lot of it has to do with, in terms of those expectations, this idea that your hair isn't moisturized unless you can see the curl poppage, unless, it's shiny. Well, for some natural hair, it's just never going to be shiny. My hair is in a perfectly moisturized state right now underneath these twists. They're not shiny. There's no curl poppage, but they're very well moisturized. So letting go of certain stereotypes like that, I think is very important too. And, hair not being necessarily shiny, but having more so sheen instead is a characteristic. It's a hallmark characteristic of having type 4 natural hair. So I hope that that was really helpful. I feel like it was. I did see quite a few people in the comments, girlfriends mentioning that it was helpful to them. I also want to say thank you so much for engaging in the community tab. There's always going to be a community tab post every single day. Just little here and there's, maybe there's a sale going on that I think could really benefit you. There's tons of comments and conversations around natural hair things like wigs and weaves and products, and it's just a fun place to be as we all navigate our journeys together. So it's Friday. Oh, Patricia says, I agree. We need to embrace our hair, but I get it's not easy for everyone because of decades of stereotypes, beliefs, and a lot to unlearn. Absolutely. So there is very much still, those stereotypes, those misbeliefs, things that we need to unlearn, I think are still very much existent. I think the natural hair movement did a really great thing to dismantle some of that or dismantle a lot of it. There is some conversation that the natural hair movement is slowing down. Here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, like it just got started. So we're not slowing down. One thing that was missing from that movement was a focus on the different types of natural hair. And that's the gap that Fine Natural Hair Rocks closes, because this has been a forgotten community. It's a community that, we were kind of, at least for myself, trying to fit myself into a space in the natural hair movement that wasn't necessarily clearly defined. And so Fine Natural Hair Rocks is here to clearly define that space. So much type 4 naturals do in fact have fine natural strands and just don't actually know it. And I think it's very important. I think it's essential, really, for you to understand how to make your hair as beautiful as possible by starting off with that foundational understanding that you've got fine strands. It influences everything. Like it really truly does, even down to these kinky twists that I've installed. You'll notice that they're very thick. So the parts are very big. and I didn't put tiny parts on my edges. That was a very intentional decision because if I had installed smaller parts, I would have ended up with very heavy extensions on a very tiny piece of hair. I actually did go ahead and remove one of my kinky twists, just so that I could show you just how tiny my real hair is in comparison to that lock, right? So this is a real strand right here. I don't know if you can see that. So this is a real strand of my own hair, okay? As you can see, that is very, very, very thin in comparison to what the lock is looking like, right? So that just goes to show you. This is such a good example of how, you don't want all of this hair hanging off of anything smaller than this. And right throughout my entire head, the parts are this tiny. So that's an example of how, knowing that I have fine strands and knowing that they break off very easily has influenced exactly how I got my goddess locks installed on my hair. Because once I'm ready to take these out in the next 2 weeks or so, I still want to have hair. Like, right? I think most of us do, right? So that's an important thing to know. And and because I know that is why I can install styles like this and come out of the style and still have hair and still be able to enjoy, my natural hair in its natural state, in different ways above and beyond this style. Bernice Hawkins, hi from South Africa. So glad I came across your channel. Amazing. Girlfriend, I really want to know where you're here from. I'm here from Toronto, here in Canada. Let me know in the comment section down below where you're watching from, because that really interests me. I know there's a lot of American girlfriends in our girlfriend crew, a lot. And I love you guys so much. I love America. I love visiting. It's just such different environments all the time. Like, Florida is so different than New York, which is so different than San Francisco. But I digress. I really want to know. I still have acquaintances who think it's not for them because they have this notion that they don't have good hair. Shaking my head, I find it frustrating to make them understand that's not true. Yes, that is a very difficult conversation to broach. And I've had that convo with, members of my own family, people in my own circles that look, natural hair is beautiful. You just have to take care of it. And, oftentimes, now that I have achieved healthy natural hair and I'm helping our girlfriend crew with it, sometimes in my own circles offline, people want that quick fix. Like, what product is going to get you there? There's no product that's going to get you to healthy, gorgeous, natural hair. It's just not going to happen. What you need is a regimented approach. The things that we mentioned. So if I could boil it down really quickly for anybody who's just joining right now in terms of getting super fast, gorgeous natural hair, number one, you want to know what type of hair do you have? Do you have fine strands or do you have thick strands? Number two, develop a regimen that matches your particular natural hair by following and learning from people who have it. Number three, document what works and what doesn't work, so that you can see where the issues are and approach and resolve them ASAP. Number four, you want to be able to get a trim to really get rid of those dead ends. And number five, send any of your questions here to Find Natural Hair Rocks. Jamoka, hi, what's up? Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. TJ, I have a whole photo album of pics of my hair from big chop to now at 2 years natural. I take pictures after it is freshly washed and after styled and dried. It helps me compare and contrast. Yes, and I do that as well too. And TJ, I can tell that you probably are natural hair that you've always wanted. This is what helps, right? Like, it sounds like a lot, but really and truly it's not. And the thing is if you approach your natural hair journey from a place of self-care and self-love, it really does make it that much more easier. So yes, wash day can be onerous. Yes, and it doesn't really have to be. Like, at this stage in my journey, my hair is the longest it's ever been, and my wash day is only maybe 2 hours. Like, it doesn't need to be a whole day thing. That's a misconception as well too. The only way you can get there is, again, by understanding what works and what doesn't work, and kind of discarding the steps that don't do anything for you, right? And that's how I was able to get mine down to 2 hours as opposed to the full day. If I was doing everything that I saw on the internet, for sure, it would be a full day wash day. But if you're able to, kind of understand what's working for you and what's not, you can really drop that time down significantly. PSR 076 says, yes, South Africa. Nadoom from Maryland, USA. Oh my gosh, look at us. Patricia, yes, that's what I give my friends who ask, a basic routine and document of how your hair reacts. Yeah, it makes a difference. And that's the main piece. Like, there's no magic project. There's no magic product. There are good products. Like, there's a place for those products, right? The place for those products is in, really working with the ingredients and the slip. Slip really matters. So like if somebody were to say, should I wash my hair with like my favorite shampoo right now for slip is the Mielle Organics pomegranate and honey shampoo, right? Obviously there's going to be a difference on your strands if you're washing your hair with that versus if you're washing your hair with like dishwashing liquid or something, right? Like they're just not the same. So products matter, but they don't matter as much as people try to make them seem like they matter. What matters with products is that you're using them in a way that is first of all, in its proper sequence for your hair. And then secondly, that your products have slip. Your products need to have slip. If they don't have slip, they're going to cause more. And it doesn't matter how amazing those ingredients are. At the end of the day, natural hair, the kinkier and the coilier it is the more it needs slip. I do not use any products that don't have slip. If it doesn't have slip, then I, transition the product into something else. There were a couple deep conditioners back there that just weren't giving slip. And I transitioned that deep conditioner into like a shampoo or something to wash like hairbrushes or something, right? Like just transition it out of your hair care regimen into something else. Jamoka, North Carolina, hey. Bernadette, hi from USA. Thank you for all the wonderful tips. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you. Honest to goodness. So yeah, those are my tips. There will be a brand new video on Monday. This video is going to be really showcasing exactly what happened on my cruise. If you're interested, so many of us are traveling now that the pandemic it's not done, but I want to venture to say like it's slowed down in the sense that at least things are reopened. So I've taken advantage of that. For 2 years, I was stuck in my house like everybody else. We were all stuck, couldn't go anywhere. So now, is the time to really get out there. Are the germs still circulating? Probably. I mean, they were circulating before the pandemic too. So I don't know. Like life, I don't know. It's a polarizing topic. I won't get into it. But for me and mine, traveling is important. And so that's what we're doing. So if you're interested in that, I'll definitely be talking a little bit more about that. Also, a lot of you have asked me about my skincare regimen. I do tend to use very high quality skincare. And there's one that I wanted to share with you from a very good friend of mine, actually. Her name is Madeline, and she's got a wonderful Toronto-based product line called Lala Skin Essentials. So I will be talking a little bit more about that in an upcoming, probably a shorts video, maybe the Monday video. I don't know. But there's a lot of really amazing content coming to you. So if you're interested in hair care, you're interested in, really making sure that your skincare game is on point, then you definitely want to stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, CURLFRIEND, and for joining me on your precious Friday afternoon, I guess evening at this point. It's 6:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Toronto. I really do appreciate you and your time. I respect and appreciate that so much. I wish you and yours a lovely weekend, full of great times, good food, happy memories. It's summertime. I mean, it's not. It's spring, but it feels like summer. And yeah, I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.